Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to read a book called A Visitor for Bear. Now, we read last a lot of books that were about family. And the books that we're going to read over the next few days are about friends. So if you look at the front cover, who do you think the characters in this story are? We have a bear, we have a mouse. Now I look at this sign on the door here. It looks like maybe this is Bear's house, and it says no visitors allowed. Why would Bear put that sign on his house? Do you think he's happy to see this mouse at his door? Let's go ahead and read to find out what happens. A visitor for Bear. No one ever came to Bear's house. It had always been that way, and Bear was quite sure he didn't like visitors. He even had a sign. No visitors allowed. One morning, Bear heard a tap, tap, tapping on his front door. When he opened his door, there was a mouse, small and gray and bright-eyed. No visitors allowed, Bear said, pointing to the sign. Go away. He closed the door and went back to the business of making his breakfast. Look at their faces in this first picture. How do you think that the mouse is feeling? How do you think that the bear is feeling? He set out one cup and one spoon. But when he opened the cupboard to get one bowl, there was the mouse, small and gray and bright-eyed. How did that mouse get in? How do you think the mouse got into the house? I told you to leave, cried Bear. Perhaps we could have just a spot of tea, said the mouse. Out, commanded Bear. Most sorry, said the mouse. I'll be going now. Bear showed him to the door and shut it firmly. Is Bear being very nice to this mouse? Not really. Look how the mouse feels at first. He's trying to be smiley. And then when Bear tells him to get out, look at his face. Then he went back to the business of making his breakfast. But when he opened the bread drawer for one slice of bread, there was the mouse, small and gray and bright-eyed. Look at their faces in these pictures. Try to decide how you think they're feeling. Unbelievable, rumbled Bear. Away with you, vamoose! I do like a bit of cheese, said the mouse. Bear pointed a rigid claw toward the door. Yes, then, here I go, said the mouse. Farewell! And the mouse whisked out the door. Bear said, "Away with you! Vamoose!" What do you think vamoose means? Like, get out of here. Go away. Go on. Sometimes we can figure out what a word means by looking at the other words around it. This time Bear shut the door very firmly and he locked it tight. He locked the windows too, for good measure. Then once again he went back to the business of making his breakfast. But when he opened the fridge to get one egg, there was the mouse. Small and gray and bright-eyed, of course. "Be gone!" See how big those words are? Roared the bear. You see the mouse? "A crackling fire?" ventured the mouse. "This is impossible, intolerable, insufferable!" cried Bear, shaking with anger and disbelief. "Terribly sorry," murmured the mouse. "Now you see me, now you don't. I'm gone." And the mouse looked very sorry indeed while he waited for Bear to unbolt the door and let him out again. Why do you think the mouse keeps coming back? This time, before he went back to the business of making his breakfast, Bear shut the door very, very, very firmly, locked it, boarded the window shut, stopped up the chimney, and even plugged the drain in the bathtub. He's trying to make sure that mouse has no way in. Carefully, Bear set about the business of making his breakfast. He opened the cupboard. No mouse. He opened the bread drawer. Nothing. Whew. He opened the fridge. Mouse free. Yes, indeed. He lifted the lid to the tea kettle. Look how happy Bear looks. There was the mouse! Small and gray and, well, you know the rest. Bear fell to the floor and wept. "I give up," he blubbered. "You win. I am undone." "So sorry," said the mouse. "But perhaps if I could have just a bit of cheese and a cup of tea, and do you think we could unstopper the chimney and have a nice fire?" Bear blew his nose with a loud honk. "But then you must go," he sniffled. "No visitors allowed." "You have my word," said the mouse. Bear unshuttered and unboarded the windows, unlocked the door, unstoppered the chimney, and unplugged the drain. He brought out 2 plates of cheese and 2 teacups, and he made a crackling fire in the fireplace for 2 sets of toes. The mouse warmed his feet and nibbled and sipped, and Bear did too. They sat for a long while. The clock in Bear's house ticked loudly. Bear cleared his throat. The mouse looked most attentive. No one had ever been most attentive to Bear. So what that means is when he clears his throat, the mouse is focusing his attention on Bear, and nobody's ever done that before. The fire is nice, Bear announced. Lovely, said the mouse. No one had ever said Bear's fires were lovely. I can do a handstand, said Bear. Very impressive, exclaimed the mouse. Bear told a joke. The mouse laughed heartily. No one had ever laughed at Bear's jokes before. Bear began to think of another joke. The mouse set down his teacup. Bear quickly lifted the teapot. There's plenty more, he said. So sorry, said the mouse. Most kind, but I must be on my way. Really? You needn't go, said Bear. I am off, said the mouse, springing up from his chair. Wait, cried Bear. But the mouse stepped out the door. Toodaloo, said the mouse. How do you think Bear's feeling about the mouse now? Doesn't he seem to kind of like the company of having someone say nice things to him and listen to his jokes and have tea with? Don't go, wailed Bear, throwing his body across the path. But I gave you my word, said the mouse, pointing at the no visitors sign. Oh, that, cried Bear, pulling down the sign and tearing it up. That's for salesmen, not friends. So now the bear thinks of the mouse as a friend. Not for friends? Asked the mouse. Small and gray and bright-eyed, Bear nodded. The mouse's bright eyes glowed brighter. Bear smiled. Do you like one lump or two? Said Bear most politely. I like two, said the mouse, and Bear agreed. You know, sometimes in life, we meet some grumpy people, and they might not want to be our friends right away. But you know, having friends and having lots of good friends to spend time with is such an important part of being alive. Those friends are going to be helpers when you need help. They're going to lift you up when you feel down. So, even though Bear didn't think he wanted any friends or any visitors, after he experienced having a visitor and somebody to sit with and talk to, he found that he rather liked it. So from the beginning of the story, when he was cranky and didn't want to have any visitors, he changed quite a bit. And that can happen to all of us. So I hope that you will continue to make new friends. As we are having class online and we are talking in the mornings, maybe you could introduce yourself and meet somebody new. Have a great day.